The What If Season 3 trailer just dropped, and there is so much.
You know, the bullets. No. You all right, man? Yeah.
Vision, Ironheart, Moon Knight, Shang-Chi as a cowboy, I think. And did they just form Voltron from the Ten Rings? Ghidorah, Agatha Harkness, Congo, and Storm, voiced by none other than Allison Seeley Smith. Oh my goodness. Salutations and fist bumps, folks. Welcome back to The Grid. And as per usual, especially now, we have a whole lot to get through and not a lot of time. Let's ride. The trailer opens with our first look at Sam as an animated Captain America with an animated Monica Rambeau walking up behind him, which perfectly solidifies that Sam is Captain America for the MCU going forward. And Monica looks to be wearing her MCU inspired suit, which is a slight alternate to her comic look. It's still fire, and her model looks flawless, at least almost flawless, all the way down to her hair. Then White Vision shows up, and it's been a pretty long while since we've seen him since WandaVision, which is then followed up by Nebula, who is accompanied by Groot, which looks to be the younger version, and Korg. My question here, though, is what are they looking at? Maybe the assembling of the Voltron Avenger? A threat caused by Agatha? Or possibly, and this is coming from the left portions of my mind in terms of the MCU, as per usual on this channel, could this be that they're looking at Scarlet Witch? And I'm saying that because there have been reports from Feige and team thinking about ways to incorporate Scarlet Witch back into the MCU. But as we're brought into the sobering fact that this is the last season for What If, we get our first animated glimpse of Ironheart, who seems to be being followed by Iron Patriot or chased by suits of armor who are being sent by Infinite Ultron. The Red Guardian and Bucky show up jumping out of a building that is labeled Cashier. Why is everything around or seems to be around a mall at this point inside of What If? But directly after them, we get our first look at Agatha Harkness in animated form, which admittedly I had to do research for because I've never seen this version of Agatha at all. And of course, we have the Watcher, who the last time we saw him was in X-Men 97 in the Genosha episode. Then the next duo that we see on screen is Kate Bishop, voiced by Haley Stanfield, and a cowboy version of Shang-Chi, voiced by Simu Lee. As per usual, I gotta break some stuff down. What struck me the most about this first 20 to 25 seconds of this trailer was how the Marvel Marquee, specifically the Marvel Animation Marquee, was transitioning or time shifting inside of this moment, because it starts out in its original beige golden hue and then swiftly changes, because if you take a closer look, it's slightly faded and grainy all at the same time, which is something that we've seen at one point or through some points inside of WandaVision. Then it fills in and switches once again with a slight undertone of red, then quickly shifts into black and white, and the texture behind it feels very Black Panther-esque. But I don't think that's exactly where this is going though, because again, this brings me back to a very similar design that I've seen or that we've seen as a community in WandaVision. Then finally, or second to last I should say, it switches into the marquee that was shown or used for Loki season 2. And as the music changes, it seems like the marquee is slowly time shifting throughout this portion. So again, left field, but is Loki somehow grabbing the strings and pulling and actually making things happen inside of the animated version of the MCU as well? From there, we get a glance at a few familiar animated faces, Okoye and Wong. But we now have two new faces, or slightly new faces, inside of this group. Brunhilde, aka Valkyrie, or a variant of the Sacred Timeline version of Valkyrie, who is a former Asgardian and a contender for the Sakaar Grand Prix, once sharing the history of her Sacred Timeline counterpart until Tony crash landed on Sakaar in What If Season 2 after the Battle of New York in 2012. Which again is shown in the events of the 4th episode in What If Season 2, What If Iron Man crashed into the Grand Master. And then there's Ying Nan, who is voiced by Michelle Yeoh, who seems to be an aide to Wong based on the way that she's dressed. And as the voice of the Watcher breaks down how we should seek to understand, which is slightly ironic because the transition here comes through peering or breaking a glass or mirror of some sort, we see Monica, or this also could be Ironheart dressed in a different suit, facing off with what looks to be evil Watchers or the Tribunal of Watchers. Then we see what looks to be Okoye fighting White Vision with the beads that were seen in Black Panther 1. Wong jumps through rope hoops. And is that Fury with scrolls? But through the montage of eyes, I was able to make out what looks to be Nebula and or possibly White Vision. But if that was Vision, I doubt that he would need a mask. So I'm leaning towards Nebula here. But who the heck is that third person? Then after Marcy and Howard the Duck,
Here we go! You see the fly there? You keep on a duck. I was born to fly. Strap in.
Crash the Milano, Dormammu appears.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
Which then leads to a Zeus and or Odin sighting, and Wong and crew fighting with Moon Knight tech, which could be powered by the 10 rings. Moon Knight, by the way, is voiced by Oscar Isaac, who has now made at least 2 animated appearances inside of the Marvel Universe. And here, again, I might be reaching a little bit, but here it looks like he's taking the role of Tony and helped create the Avenger. Then Monica and or Ironheart land on a dying planet and Saturn blows up. And then in true Power Rangers Voltron style,
We need dinosaur power now!
Sam says,
Avenger, assemble.
and the team that is shown here includes Moon Knight, Melina Vostokov, Monica, possibly Wong or Bucky, Shang-Chi, possibly Ying-Nan, and Ironheart. Then his punches fly and hit hard with the beat. Shang-Chi drops dudes without hesitation while his cowboy hat is still flying in the air like something out of a Western or a cartoon. An older cartoon, by the way, because this is also a cartoon. Red Guardian then rolls heads with a vibranium Captain America type shield. And of course, he brings his good pal Bucky to the gunfight in none other than Vegas, leading to a fight montage of Riri, who has a similar suit to Monica, but also has hints of Iron Man and Vision inside of this suit. But this could also be Monica based on the voice though. Now this is a small detail, but notice how perfectly her mask fits directly inside of the parts of her braids, which tells me that the creators and animators for this team took really great detail and care to make sure that everything was spot on and where it needs to be in terms of depicting these characters like we would like to see them. And that also means that they've been paying attention to the hairstyles conversation that has been going on inside of the gaming community for a long time. But the ships that she's fighting through look very similar to the ships that were seen in Moon Knight and in Thor: Love and Thunder. But this fight may take place in Wakanda. Then as another planet blows up, you can see what looks like Dormammu's eyes. Then Agatha doing celestial type things, Kaecilius appears, and the Hulk, which if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time that we've seen the Hulk inside of an animated series ever. Because up until now, most of the time that we've seen the Hulk, he's been Bruce Banner. Which then leads us to our full first sighting of the Tribunal of Watchers, who are towering over Uatu and 2 unknown characters, at least at this moment. Now, this might be another left corner of my mind reach. I've done that a few times in this video, but directly after the Tribunal is introduced, is that Bastion? Then fast forwarding a bit, it now looks like Agatha is using Congo, who has the powers of Cersei. And she's using him to get access to the Celestials because it looks very similar to the time that Cersei went and talked to the Celestials in the beginning or around the beginning of the Eternals, based on the background that is behind him in this scene. And I'm saying that because directly after this scene, we get our first glimpse of Erisham, which then leads to a dope shot of Kahori, Peggy Carter, and Birdie, who is voiced by Natasha Lyonne. Then with the final Watcher Heal the World clap, we get a huge B-roll of characters, which includes Kaecilius, Bruce Banner, Apocalypse, Peggy Carter, Wong, and Congo, and all of his many aliases, Kate Bishop at gunpoint, Sam Wilson, and Uatu. But if you are a follower of this channel for any length of time, especially since the X-Men 97 series came out, you know where I'm going next, because the best moment of this trailer happens here. This was when I thought all of the tricks had actually been played and were on the table at this point, because then we hear, after Valkyrie's request for backup, then we hear the silkiest voice inside of the Marvel Universe ever.
I am Storm, Goddess of Thunder.
Allison Seeley Smith as Storm, who, by the way, is wielding Stormcaster, her version of Mjolnir, which comes directly out of the 1985 comic X-Men Annual #9. But I have to do this. Storm's here. Yay! Now, there's a lot that has been going on inside of the MCU in the last couple of days, and if you want to be abreast about everything that is going on from now into 2025, you want to check this video out here. And if you want more discussion on what's going on inside of the Spider-Verse, check this video out over here. And until next time, y'all be smooth. Blurt out.